Hey people, how you doing? Broken Puppet, back with another video for today. If you're new to my channel, make sure you click subscribe. I've got hundreds of tutorials, all kind of tattoo based, so I'm sure you find something you like. But for now people, how to draw a Hannya Mask. It's going to be like really nice, really classic sort of traditional kind of style. You know, nice full colour as well, done with pencils, markers and pens. And a ruler, can't forget the ruler. Yeah, so it's going to be like a sort of symmetric front facing one. It's a really cool one, so here we go. So start off, just kind of get your ruler out and just mark down a rough line coming down the centre of your page. Just so you get a sense of, like, you know, where you're sort of putting stuff. So obviously it's going to be symmetric, so what you do on this side, it's going to be the same as this side. So just get a few little measurements just to make things easier for yourself. So here I'm just going to go, say, 5 centimeters across on one side, 5 on the other side. Just go a little bit higher just there. So just go 5. I'm not going to do loads, you can do as many as you want. It's just kind of get a rough idea so you know roughly whereabouts you are on either side. Just makes things that tiny little bit easier, in my opinion. So you got my little pencil here now. So I'm going to mark out, say about halfway, so say about here. And once I've got this marked out, I'm going to do myself a rough circle. So you can kind of fit inside that space, just like this. Once I've got that done, I'm going to get this another sort of oval sort of shape. It's got a little bit more kind of egg shape, so I'm going to curve around like this. Curve down here. So it's just a little bit kind of flatter on the side, so it's a bit more kind of sort of overly kind of egg shape, if you get my drift. So the idea is going to be top of the head, bottom jaw, and we'll do our horns kind of up here and do a sort of bow around the bottom bit as well. So make sure we've got enough room to sort of see everything nice and clearly. So once we've got done, don't need that ruler no more. You know, you can use it to kind of mark out areas if you want, like the eyes and stuff like that, but it's not necessary. So I'm going to start off with, say, around here, I think. I'm going to start off with the nose. So I'm going to get myself sort of circular oval kind of shape. On the sides of that, I'm going to do a circle on this side. About the same distance apart, another circle on the other side, just there. Coming up from this, I'm going to do this long oval shape. It's going to touch about where we sort of done the edge of that sort of circle bit just there. Coming up, I'm going to get myself a circle here. Now this circle is going to cut roughly, say, about halfway into this nostril, or say the edge of this nose bit just here. So you've got that little gap just here, about the same kind of distance. So just mark those in 2 circles. That's where your eyes are going to go. Underneath it, just to make things easier, you can do this kind of sort of side oval shape. Sort of touching the edge of this and touching the nostril. So it makes it a bit easier to kind of get in position. It's going to be where you have the cheeks. You know, it's all about kind of sort of structure and everything, so it's all kind of sort of about, you know, the right sort of spacing. Above the eye, I'm going to bring this line cutting through and curving around, cutting through, curving around. Keep it as symmetrical as you can. Don't worry if it comes a little bit off. You know, it's not easy to get 100% dead perfect. Just kind of get as perfect as you pretty much can, really. You know, but don't beat yourself up. It's not 100% dead perfect. A little curve just kind of connects them just there. Come off the side part of the head just here now. I'm going to bring a few kind of circular shapes. I'm going to do this curve just here to begin with. It's going to curve up. I like to leave a little sort of space just in the middle. So I'm going to bring in one curve. I'm going to bring in another curve. And I'm going to bring in, say, possibly like another little one just here. I'm going to go too low because I want enough space for the ears. So the ears are going to come outside this box shape, so I'm just going to go like this. Going to loop around this way, and then at the bottom, it's going to loop around the other way. So loop around here, and loop around the bottom bit. But bear in mind to come a little bit higher than what the eye shape is, just a fraction. So where you've done your circles for the eyes, it's just a tiny bit higher than that. This is going to basically be your hair, so you're going to bulge your bulk line up a little bit outside that box, just curving around, connecting to those edges. You're going to have your horns. Your horns are going to sit inside it. So inside this little gap of this top one, you're going to do this little curve just like this. And then we're going to do our horns. The horns can be as big or as small as you want. I'm going to have mine going to about this kind of height. About there. One about here on this side. Imagine nice and even with that line we've done just there. make mine come to a little bit of a point just in the centre, just there. So now we've got that done. Let's kind of everything kind of plotted out for the top part of the head. So you can then start plotting stuff out for the bottom part. So what you want to do is pretty much where you got this sort of circular sort of shape here, the bottom of the circle, just cut in it just ever so slightly. You want to make it a bit smaller. And we're going to curve this around. And when we get to the centre bit, we're going to just dip down a bit, just to create the centre part of the mouth. And then just go back around it, create a little loop just here, and dip down to that sort of shape. Curve up, curve back up. So just get that little hint of the lip. Now on either side of that, you can do a sort of line up. I prefer to do mine just a little kind of curve, so you get this kind of sort of curve space in the centre. Underneath that, you're going to get 4 teeth. So I'm going to bring in this sort of shape across like this. Going to have line in the centre, divide that in 2, divide that in 2, and then you're going to get your fangs. Now it's up to you. You can have your fangs curving out, you can have them curving inwards. It's really up to you. I'm going to have mine curving out just a little bit. So I'm going to curve up like this. Curve this one out like this. Just like so, just like so. Now you can carry teeth around the edge if you want. You know, I don't really tend to carry them around the edge. You know, it's up to you. It depends how much kind of gap you have there, really. You know, but what I'm going to do from here now, I'm going to bring this line down. Going from here, so there's a tiny little gap just here. I'm going to curve this out. Curve this down. Now I'm going to create this loop. So it's going to curve here. And you're going to get this loop in it. It's going to bump out a touch. Come here. Go back a touch. Underneath the bottom now, you're going to get a sort of another sort of shape of it. So you're going to basically just draw a line around the outside of it. Like so, just mimicking that shape. Curve that around like this. That's going to get, you know, your bottom lip. So on this bottom lip, again, I'm going to have, you know, the fangs either side. You can have them cutting out or sort of going inwards. Then bring that little line across, divide it into 4, so you've got your 4 teeth. You know, and you often sometimes get the back teeth here. You can bring your line up like this and bring in like little lines across your back teeth if you want. Then come under here, so where you got this, you're going to create a sort of chin shape. So the chin shape is going to sort of copy these bits here a little bit. So what I tend to do is copy this sort of shape a little bit, dip it in a touch, and then curve that line out. So curve down, curve around, dip into the shape just a little bit, curve back out and around. And then underneath this bottom bit, I just kind of sort of another little line, just kind of sort of joins it up underneath. You should kind of get this little kind of sort of like kind of tilt in the chin, which I really quite like. Underneath this, is going to have sort of rope. The rope's going to come from inside the ears and curve around. So I'm going to create a little circle just here. It's going to like a little kind of sort of bow, I think. And this can kind of curve out to one over here. And this one curve down. I'll sort of show you as I sort of do it, as I sort of draw it. And this one around here. You can make these bits symmetric. I like to make these bits a little bit unsymmetric, just to kind of sort of like change the design up ever so slightly. I'm going to bring in these little lines, just coming in the centre of the ear. And then a bolder line just around the outside, just copying the sort of shape of it. Curve in there. This one curve in here. Might create one. So it's going to curve around here. This one can curve here. And this one, slightly different. This one's a little bit lower, just curving like that. Now you can make them symmetric. I just prefer not to. You know, it's all down to personal preference, really. Ooh, put my glass over. Stay. So once you've got this done, we have the basic layout of the Hannya Mask. And once we've got a basic layout of the Hannya Mask, we can sort of work out what we want to make wider, what we want to make smaller. So lucky, I like to make sure this jaw bit is generally sort of bigger than the head. So when I've got this now, I want this jawline kind of tucking underneath this cheekbone. The cheekbone going to come out here, but then I know, so looking at it, I want to bring in this line just ever so slightly for this hair now. So now we've got a rough sketch, we can sort of start shaping it. Now I've got this done, I'm sort of looking at it, I think I want to bring this line, this curve up. Just here, create this little curve. Just kind of give a bit of sort of character to the centre. Now you can add sort of two sort of like, you know, sort of dish shapes here if you want to. Not often tend to do it, but it's personal preference. I'm going to get your pupil inside the eye, so I can do a little circle inside the eye. Sometimes I like to do like a line going through the centre of it, you know, but I'm not sure if I can do that one today. Might do, might not. So now we've got this, everything's kind of roughly where I kind of want it. You know, I want to get like a little curve, it's going to come here inside this eye, I think. Just here. This one here, it's going to curve off and cut that. Now I like to make sure my eyebrows and stuff are kind of cutting into the eye. Now, again, it just kind of sort of tells the personality of it. So I think now that I've roughly got this rough shape, I'm going to come in, and now I'm just going to bring everything in with a marker and just make everything nice on show and make it more clear. So for this, I'm just going to use a Sharpie to begin with. Yeah, it's a classic old Sharpie. And do the detail. I'm going to start off with the nose, I think. So where you've got this circle on the outside here, I'm going to bring this line around the outside. As I get towards this inside bit, I'm then going to loop it up like this. Get around this nose. Get up here again, just curve that around just like so. Curve that around the nostril. I'm going to get that line, I'm going to flick it down like so. Once I get that done, I'm going to get the cheekbone now. So this cheekbone is going to curve down around. Come up and it's going to tuck behind this part of the eye, I think. Curve this around. And tuck behind that part of the eye. Get this part of the mouth in here. Get that upper lip bit we've done. Nice and on the inside. I might use a thin little line detail just for the inside lip bit, I'm not too sure on that yet. But we'll see as we do it. I'm going to get this little line just there. Little line just there. Going to get this outside line around the eye now, so I'm going to curve this up. Around. And I think it's very important to have your line kind of cut into the eye a little bit, you know, it just kind of makes the Hannya Mask look the way it's kind of supposed to. You know, you'd have a hard time trying to find one where the eyes are not really got a little bit kind of cut off, where the cheeks or the eyebrows are kind of cutting the section off. It's just the way they normally are done. So once I've got that done there, I'm going to bring this little loop just down here. I'm going to bring those two little discs I said, so I've got two oval shapes just come up here. Just like so. Circle pupil. Leaving a little highlight on the inside. Very, very important little detail, that one. I'm going to get this cheekbone now coming down here. Create this jawline. And tuck that behind that cheekbone. So you've got this nice kind of curve coming around it, sort of tucking it behind. Come up here, we've got this nose detail. I don't want to get too many line details here, so what I might just do is bring in possibly a little curved line just to kind of sort of tell the nose shape coming down. I'm going to get these teeth, because these teeth are going to sit a little bit maybe possibly in front of this gum bit. When I do it, I'm not 100% sure just yet. I'll decide as I sort of draw it. So I'm going to get this front four teeth. The little lines on the inside, I'm going to do with a thinner liner, I think. Create my fang. Fang. So yeah, that's sitting just a little bit over that, you know, the outer lip bit, so it made sense doing that first. I tend to go with just the flow of it, you know, I just kind of sort of take control of how I sort of do my motion with my hand. Up. Go around. Bring that secondary line now, just going around. As I get to the lip section, I'm going to make it slightly wider. So see here, these bits are a bit wider than these side bits. Just like so. A little underline detail I like to do just on that chin bit. And then I'm going to get these teeth in here. So I'm going to start off with this fang. Get this fang in there. And that line across just there. You know, sometimes the mouth is blacked out, sometimes you get a bit of a tongue in there. I might put a line just for the tongue for now, but I might black it out, I haven't decided yet. So the tongue's going to be like this kind of oval shape, just like this. Semicircle shape. And I might bring a little line just in the inside bit, just here. Just for a little inner in-mouth detail. You can add some more up here if you want. And I think I might bring a little line for some back teeth, just coming up here. Just cutting off there. And I might possibly do some more teeth just around there, because there's a little bit of space there, I might do. I'll bring the line, if I don't like it, I'll black it out. Now, if it's scenario with a black background, you can always play around with that. And you ain't got to worry about messing up the design because, you know, worst case scenario, you just go over the top. So I'm going to start off with this hair now, coming down. So I'll bring this first curve. This second curve, just there. I might just leave it into 2 curves actually, because that third curve is going to be a bit pointless. This is going to come up into this horn. Now, depending on the style of the Hannya Mask that I'm doing, depends on how kind of crazy I go with the horn. If I'm keeping it fairly sort of traditional and more kind of simplistic like this, I tend to go a bit more simple. If I'm doing a bit more on the neo-traditional side, I tend to go really crazy and make it really kind of sort of bone textured and stuff like that. You know, it really comes down to the general vibe of the image. So bring that line across again. Curve that up. Across. Even out touch, got a little bit uneven on that bit. Just line down here. Curve that up. Now when we've got the ear here, so the first thing I'm going to do first, I'm going to do this outside part of the rope, because that's going to be kind of coming from inside the ear. So I'm going to bring this line around like this. And on the outside of that, I'm going to mimic that line. Keep the same distance apart, make sure it's a bit chunky. You don't want some sort of thin rope. You know, it's not really done with thin rope, to be honest. I'm going to bring in this curve now for the ear, so it's just going to curve around like this. This is going to loop down around. I'm going to create a little loop just coming up inside the ear, like this. This one can curve there. Maybe just a little bump just there for extra detail. Going to do pretty similar on the other side now, so bring in that rope line to begin with. Same distance apart if you can. Bring that curve around. Bring that loop down. Curve that loop up. Loop around the ear. A little inner detail just there. So now I've got it done, I'm going to come down. I'm going to do this part of the bow here just to begin with. So it's going to sit in front. So I'm going to have this kind of sort of tied up. So I'm going to have it come around. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 little bits, just kind of like a little kind of knot bit for the kind of sort of tying out of. This bit here is going to loop around here, create the bow. This one here is going to come out to create the bow. This one's going to come down to make tip. This one's going to come down here to make that tip. This outside bit that's kind of coming through. Just there, and this one I have loop over there. And that kind of cut through there. Now for the end of the bow, it's going to bring this line across. I've curved like this, and it's going to create a big ball. And coming off of this, I'm going to go line out, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, curve back like that. Do some on the other side. Move it up a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. So create that curve. Create that ball. Just bring this up a touch so you can see it. I want to curve down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just there. So let's see, it's all coming together nicely now. Zoom out a touch. Just try to get you all in one image. There we go. So you can see how that's how everything kind of looks on that bit. So I'm going to go back to where it was and just go section by section again. So you can see. So now with that done, I'm going to get me a thinner liner. So I'm going to go down and use my Uni Pen Fine liner, which looks like this. any little fine liner would do. This one's a 0.8. It's just the size of it. I'm just going to come and do little line details now. So do those inner teeth lines. So I just got those divided into 4. 1, 2 on this side bit if I keep it. 1, 2 on there. So a little line just through this side part, just here. Just there. Now with that done, I'm going to bring in this little loop just down here. Like so. I think around this inner eye line, I'm going to bring another little loop, just put a thinner one. It's going to give him crazy eyes. Just like so. I'm going to give him a few little hair strands just coming down from this top bit, so I'm going to curve this line inwards like this. The second one, I think. I tend not to have loose hairs. I've heard them just kind of like sort of connect up to it, so I don't often tend to sort of like kind of go down and kind of wiggle it down. That makes sense. And it might come down, but they usually always connect back up somewhere. So I've got this little line here, so I'm going to bring this little line detail just coming down here, sort of show off this cheek shape. Just come in there. Get this little curve on the inside part of the nose, and just inside this nose I'm going to curve around, curve down, curve around. And this cheekbone here, I'm just going to curve this outwards, connect up there, outwards, connect up there, just put this eyebrow just here, just there. Little line just around the eye, just here in the bottom. My little ones on the outside part just there. My little secondary line just coming here, just curving down. Like so. Now we've got it done, that's all a basic kind of sort of line work in the face. So once you've done that, I'm going to come back to the rope. And now the rope you can just do sort of normal, you can just kind of divide up, you know, like this coming down, which looks really cool. But what you can do, and that's kind of mark out, you know, on each side, so kind of the line here, a little bit higher on the other side. So each time you kind of do a little line in the middle of the one on the other side. And then what you want to do is bring your lines across, like so. And then from the top bit, bring that down, and you get this nice kind of sort of, you know, sort of Japanesey kind of sort of cross hatch pattern. You know, you can do that, you can do sort of circle ones, you can pretty much do whatever you want. You know, I'm looking at, and I think I might go for, which one should I go for? I think I'm just going to go for this one actually, because I like this. So I'm going to go line, line, line. Just keep this going throughout, you know, keep your sides about the sort of same size, and just kind of rotate with your rope, like so. I like to keep sort of one direction for the rope, and sometimes sort of just twist it the other side, just so it all kind of feels like it sort of flows in the same general direction. So basically when you've got this line coming through here, I picture this kind of going through here to here, so I keep that line going on the other side, same direction. This one comes this way, so when I get here, I'm going to follow that same direction for it. Like this, and this side, just copy the top section, going that way, some lines to just middle bit, lines coming through there, lines coming through there. So once we've got that done, I'm fairly happy with that. You can do some little line details through the horns. I might do as we sort of get to those areas, but for now, make sure everything nice and dry. Your Sharpie will dry really quick. Tends to dry really quick. Unipin fine liner can sometimes take a little bit longer, so you might want to give it a little bit of time just to sort of dry up. But if you're going to rub it out, just make sure you dry the bits that you drew first and not the last bits. You know, because if it's not dry, you might cause a little smudge in a design. You know, which can be really frustrating. You know, especially if it's a design you spent ages on. You know, I draw these ones up pretty quick, so they don't bother me too much. But yeah, if it was a design I sort of spent, say, a couple of hours on, then I'd want to make sure that I don't smudge my line work. So it's worth just taking time, just give it sort of like 15-20 minutes to dry. You know, but yeah, just make sure whatever you use, just you give adequate time for it to dry before you go and do your next bits. You know, I mean, if you're using sort of say traditional pen and ink, you know, you want to make sure you give that plenty of time to dry. You know, because if that doesn't dry, that's going to smudge the hell out of it. But that's one of the reasons why I quite like Sharpie, to be honest, because Sharpie is very, very quick drying. So now we've got this done. That's everything all rubbed out. It's all looking pretty smart and it's all ready to go, I think. So now you've got to this stage, I'm going to do my greys first. I'm going to use Winsor and brush markers for this. So I'm going to use the CG1 to CG4. CG1's the lightest, CG4's the darkest. And whatever pencil markers you're using is basically your medium, dark and lights. So the XP being my pitch black, and then they go dark, lighter, lighter, lightest. Well, right now actually, that's my lightest. I'm going to use a bit of a sort of certain technique for doing these, so you're going to see me. If you've seen me do before, you know what I do here. So I'm going to start off with areas that I know I want to black out. So inside this mouth section, just here. I'm looking at it, I know I want this dark. So I'm going to black out that bit. I'm going to bring a little bit just here. I might not black this area just actually. I'll show you what, I'll go from the shading here because I'm not going to black out this section completely actually. Those side bits black out, but just in here, I'm going to switch up to my dark grey. Just go side to side kind of motion. I'm going to bring that down to the bottom. So go side to side so you see the side of blend. Then just bring that grey down. Back to my black, I'm going to get a little bit just here across this top section because I'm going to get a little shadow just underneath this mouth. So by putting black on the top, it's going to create a little shadow just coming down. So I'm going to go black there. I'm going to get my grey, side to side motion, always side to side if you can. You'll get a much better shade this way. Once you see it start to blend, just kind of let it do its magic. I'm going to go down to my next grey. Down to my lightest, just blend over that. So that's the inner mouth bit there, sort of shaded in. I know these top lips here, I want black. And I think I'm going to have most of the bottom lip black as well. I'm going to go black up to here. And once I get to the edge of the teeth, I'm then going to go into like a grey tone here. Because I've got black in the mouth, I don't want to kind of lose it and feel like it's kind of joining up. I want to blacken most of it, so I'm going to bring this black out to around here. And once I get down, I'm going to blend that in the side bits with a little highlight. When it's a really thin area like this, you can sort of break the side to side motion, just go straight up if you can. But when it's like here, where there's a bit more of a wide gap, I'd say use the side to side motion. Go through your greys until you blend it out. Now you have got a blender pen that comes with a lot of these ones you can use as well. I tend not to fuss about it because, like, you know, the lightest grey pretty much fades to nothing, so it's very rare that I ever use the blender pen. I can't remember last time I actually used a blender pen, to be honest. I just don't normally use it. You know, you can do. There's nothing wrong with them. Just not for me. So I'm now going to be black under these cheekbones. So it's a bit of shadow, and it's going to give like a really nice kind of depth to this kind of sort of cheek bit now. So again, I'm just going to work over the top until it starts to blend. Once it starts to blend, just kind of let it do its magic. Now, because it will carry on blending for a second or two afterwards, so as soon as it's kind of on its way there, just let it kind of carry on. So just go down through the greys. It's my last grey. Now, I tend to use the cold pen, so I tend to prefer those. There's nothing wrong with the warm colours, but everyone's kind of got a personal preference, and for me, I prefer the colder grey shades. So I'm going to get a little bit of black here just above this eye. Just flick a little bit down, or quite a bit of black around this eye. Black off this inside section here actually as well. I like to be nice and dark around the eye. I realise I made that bit of shit, those few lines were done there, pretty much pointless, but bring that grey over that black. Again, just keep going down for your shades. That's my lightest one, I think. Just blend down that sort of nose ridge. And just fade it out on these side bits. Just like so. So you've got this nice kind of shadow behind the eyes now. And once we've got those bits there done, I'm going to blacken this hair because I want this hair black. You can put a little shine highlight down them. For this particular style, I just really like it jet black. I think this sort of style, this sort of Japanese ones, are one of the few times I sort of do my hair jet black. I usually always put a shine in there if I'm doing it. Old school, near tread, or any other style, but in Japanese it just looks so cool. So it's that top part of the head, so you see it just kind of gives a nice kind of sort of darkness. It really makes the face kind of pop this way. Because you're going to have sort of dark in the image, you want to make sure you have enough light behind it. So by having this face fairly sort of light, we can achieve that. So I'm going to be a little bit black just here, underneath this kind of nose area. I'm going to do a little shadow drop just off the nose, but I'm going to do that with a grey tone rather than a black. I just want to get this initial kind of sort of shadow drop, just to kind of separate this part of the cheek from this part of the face. Now, shadows are the best way to kind of sort of separate certain areas. And with a Hannya, there's quite a few different little sections, so kind of got that there now. So what I'm going to do now is just from this top bit, I'm going to bring this line down. So we get into this nose bit just here. Get this up. Shade around the outside. Shade around the outside. Shade on the inside. So you kind of got this nice sort of shadow drop just coming from that top part just there. Now you can put a bit of shadow over the teeth. I prefer not to do that, so I'm not going to do that. I like my teeth to sort of, stand out really sort of nice and sort of bright, especially when I put the colour in there. Because once I decide what colour in there, I'm not too sure if I'm going to go red or blue yet. I'll kind of decide as I get there. I get fairly dark in these nostrils just here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to flick this grey, come down these little lines we just drew. And I'm going to break them all away. I'm going to flick in it when I shouldn't do. I should go side to side motion. Don't copy my bad habits. Go side to side if you can. So just for the sake of kind of getting in there. I'm going to have my lightest tone. So you're going to get this in the shadow on that part. Do it again now. It's going to come to this top part. Above the eyes, same principle now. And you can just do the whole thing in a nice flat even sort of shade if you want. And I'll show you what I mean. Basically if I just go like this and just put this entire sort of dark shade across here, it achieves very much the same kind of effect, sort of does a sort of nice shadow. I'm going to get the shadows coming down here, just coming down this sort of cheek part, flick that line out. That line out. This inside part here, I'm going to black this out. except for a little line just on the inside part that I'm going to sort of try and not do. Just there and there. And I've got it done. I'm going to go to my CG3, I think. Just bring this little line up just here, get a bit of shadows underneath this section. I'm just going to flick a little bit of shadow. Just come down from this top part of the head just here. I might black this section out, I'm not too sure on that bit yet, whether I'm going to black it out or not. Oh, it's a little bit black just on the ears, just this top corner bit, just there and there. Just keep going over those. Fade those out. I'm down to sort of like say CG2 or 3, so one of your sort of lighter grey shades. Just had a few little grey bits just around here. Just come around here, just put a little bit of this nostril section. It's quite easy to get carried away sometimes, start adding more than you kind of need. So once you kind of get to a good sort of stage, and I recommend just like calling it out with it. So once I've got this done, the only bits I'm going to do now, the bits that kind of sit behind, so I want to get a little bit of shadow. I'm not going to blend this out, I want to sort of like very straight edge. So let's give like a really defined sort of shadow off the face that's kind of covering this part of the rope. Just everywhere it kind of sits underneath really. Even when it's kind of like underneath its own kind of rope. Just make sure it's on the underparts. Like this bit here, this doesn't sit underneath, it sits on top. It's just come around that angle, so I wouldn't put shadow in that area. Inside this ball bit, you could black it out, but I'm going to go for the grey, I think. Now I'm probably hitting like a certain kind of colour. I'm going to leave this little highlighter here, just so it gets a nice kind of sort of shine effect on it. I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3 little flicks on there. And I'll do the same on the other side as well. But I think that's it for the black and grey. You know, I'm happy with how that looks. I don't add too much black and grey, so I really want the colour to shine through this. So now we've got that done. I'm going to come in, I'm going to use my, I'm going to go berry reds, pink, pale pink, I'm going to go blue, turquoise, I'm going to use my lilac I think, I might use a bit of mint green, possibly, and I want to get my amber yellow. I think that'll do for now. I might use some other colours but I haven't decided yet. I'll just see as I get to these areas. And China blue. So yeah, these are pretty much all the colours I'll be using. Done these all out my way. I'm going to start off with the colours that I know I want in certain areas. So I know that I want to use red inside the mouth, so I'm going to bring red across this area just here. I want red in this back part of the mouth. And red just there. I'm going to put a little bit of pink just over this line as well. You can leave it sort of blank if you want, but I like to put pink over that area. Once I've got it in there, I'll probably using a couple other little sort of sections as well. You can like go reds. A little bit just there. Call that there for now. If you're not too sure where to add a colour, if you haven't made your mind up yet, just keep adding the colours that you know you want in certain areas, and just make it more obvious what colour you want to put in other areas. So a little bit of pink just over that part of the mouth bit just there. I'm looking at it, I think I want my teeth in yellow. So I'm just going to bold these in a really nice strong bold yellow. This one's called amber. And as long as you're giving your pens a chance to dry, you shouldn't really get too much kind of blurring or bleed off your other pens. You know, move fairly quickly over them. Don't sort of hang around, you know, you want to be fairly quick on them. So I've got yellow there on the teeth. I think I'm going to have yellow on the eyes as well. I'm going to leave a little section just up here for highlight. Same on this side, just there. Make sure it's on the same side. You don't do one here and one here. It just looks weird. You know, you can do a different kind of pattern on the other side. Like you could always do this. You know, we kind of get this little kind of highlight this way. But just make sure they're both on the same side as you know each other. So I've got the yellows in the eyes there now. What am I thinking next? Should I go blue for the face or should I go red? I think I'm going to go red for the face because I like doing the turquoise thing on the ropes. So what I'm going to do on this rope, I'm going to use turquoise, and every other colour, every other sort of step, I'm going to colour on the turquoise. Like so. I'm going to do that on all of it, so just pick one to begin with, skip one. Just keep it going around, just keep this pattern, just keep, you know, going with it. You know, patterns are so fundamental, especially in Oriental kind of art. You know, they're fundamental in any kind of art now, but it's very, very, very important. You know, it's just, I don't know how to describe it, you know, but everything sort of from the fabrics to the armor to the flowers, everything's got like a really cool kind of pattern work to them. That's very deliberate, you know, not random. And I love sort of Oriental kind of pattern work. I mean, this is just one colours, you know, I wouldn't really sort of call this a massive Oriental kind of pattern, you know, it's not complex in the slightest. It just looks really cool. And it gives a really nice kind of vibe to it, and it's simple to do. Then I'm going to bring this up across this bottom section. I'm going to fade that into mint green. Bring that up like so. Actually, I'm just going to cover the whole thing. There we go. And then I'm going to use this mint green on every other alternate one. So basically just going to fill it up with the mint green now. The reason why I sort of decided to do this when I said the red face is because this goes really nice against the red. If I'd done the face blue, it'd probably feel a bit too much stuff on the same bluish kind of sort of tone. Now, I mean, I know it's more kind of on a green thing, but green and blue are very close in the colour spectrum. And it just wouldn't make as good a colour play. You know, if I'd done the face blue, I probably would have done this, say, like red or brown. Or possibly orange. Orange is a very good one against blue. Orange and blue are very complementary. No, I missed that section there, I missed that. I don't know why, whenever I'm doing these videos I always miss a section. I never normally do that when I draw myself. I think sometimes I've just distracted myself when I do this. So it makes bits easy to kind of miss out sometimes. There we go. So that's all that rope done. And I don't think I'm going to use any more of that colour now. I think I like that on nice kind of own. It's got like a nice kind of vibe to it. Now where I'm doing the reds, because I'm doing it reds, I want to make sure I get a darker tone red as well, so I'm going to have a bit of fabric in here as well. It's basically a slightly darker red. So what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to start around here, so bring this up, bring this kind of fabric across this sort of shadow section we done. Across there. Get my berry red. Work this up around here. It's going this way. And this is going to go into rose pink, which will blend into pale pink. Actually, no, it's going to go with the pink actually. Like I might go a bit too bright otherwise. Red across a touch. Into that pink. Let's give that a nice blend over. So now we got that bit in there. I'm going to come down now. This grey shade over here with the fabric to begin with. Bring this red down. And try and do this little kind of edge just around the outside. I'm going to bring this red across here, leaving a little gap just here. I'm going to use for the pink. So on this side, just do a little gap just there for the pink. Bring this side up into that fabric. Just like so. Grab my pink again. Blend this into that red. Yeah, I'm done. Straight my line. No, run out of paper. I hate doing that. Going to bring the fabric, just going to bring the fabric over this section just here in the nose, the cheek, and a little bit just above the eyebrow. A little bit of fabric just here, just underneath the eye. Leave a little line, like you want to make sure you leave a little highlight line just there. Yeah, we're just on the side of the nostril. And a little bit just up at the top. Don't too much because I'm going to have this kind of lilac effect coming off that part of the face. So it's going to come in, get this red. And leave this little space on the nostril in the center. I'm going to come in, hit with that pink. So, that's that red. Just want red to come down this part of the nose, like this. So I'm going to do this little kind of circle area just in the center again. I'm going to bring this up, leaving a little line either side. Like this. Come back in with that pink. Just keep working over the edge till it starts to blend. so. Come back to my red. Flick it around here. Pink in this cheekbone. Peach just above that, a little bit above the eye, just underneath the eye bit, just there. You see, I want to be very kind of solid with the red. I want red to be most, like, main dominating kind of colour in it. And there, let's get that pink again. Bring that pink across there. So it's come together now. Flick up the red towards this section just here. And then for this bit, I'm going to flick in some blue to begin with. Just give these guys a little coat of blue just there. Grab the lilac, just work over those edges and over that blue, just to start to kind of join the colours. I like to do that because, you know, I like the blue, but the blue mixed with the lilac gives a really nice colour. Plus the lilac gives that next sort of transitional colour, which helps blend it into the red. So you can then go to, you know, that into like the pale pink into the pink. You know, it's kind of just working your way through the kind of colour wheel to kind of get it to match up. But I really like to have that little kind of splash of different colour just kind of behind the eyes, just kind of makes it for me. I'm a big fan of that. So around here, let's make it red. Just bottom section. I'm going to leave this long strip of highlights come across this part of the face, just there. Then I'm going to fill up with a pink. So it kind of creates nice little highlights just above the eyebrow. Just go a few times so it just kind of blends the edges a touch. But you see, just give this nice kind of strip highlight across that top section. I'm going to start flicking this up and it's going to go in the top part here. I'm going to have that sort of lilac kind of purple coming down again from that very top of the head. I'm going to work up into that section, so sideways. Do that same little strip just here, so just leave that nice olive highlight just through that section. Just bring that colour up to about yay high. A few times that blends a touch. Do your first kind of bit of paint just here to kind of sort of break up that red. Just kind of gives a nice sort of that start transitional area. Bit of this pale pink. I'm going to flip down the blue first. Just kind of touching those colours so it kind of sort of brings that shade through it. Get that lilac. Just go over and it just slightly changes the colour. So much more kind of like pleasing colour. I mean, you might like the blue more. I just generally prefer it. I just think it looks really nice. So once we have that, let's come back to the last bit areas we kind of need to do. So inside these ears, again, I was going to do this little kind of sort of like little strip just through the section of the ear. I'll hit with a pink. So just a single little highlight. Okay, red just here. Holding that section just down there, doing a little highlight just on that inside part. Right there. Grab that pink, find those little highlight areas. Just there and there. Grab your lilac and blue and just fill those little spaces inside the ear. So again, it's just kind of carrying the colour through it. You know, rather than a random colour, it's part of it. I'm going to get that China blue. Just going to go over this section just here. I'll do the same on this side as well. And then we've got the horns. And the horns, you can have sort of horns blue, sort of browny colour stuff. And that I'm going to do, I'm going to use a cinnamon tone. And I'm going to work a bit of lilac and blue into it. And I don't want it to be completely blue, so cinnamon tone, there you go. So start off with this kind of sort of brown cinnamon tone. I'm just going to throw this in there, just kind of flick it up in a few different kind of random places. Just kind of flicking up from the bottom. Now trying to make a bit of difference, so sometimes a little bit longer, a little bit thinner. I want maybe a little bit thicker. So flick those up. Come down with that blue. Lilac. So get this nice colour transitional kind of effect. And I think that does it, people. That's how you draw a Hannya mask. I hope you like it. Make sure to check out my videos. I've got loads of other ones. I've got ones on dragons, flowers. I've got hundreds of tutorials, so I pretty much cover everything. If there's something I don't cover, you know, you can always ask me and I'll get it done. You know, recommendations are always really handy. I do appreciate a recommendation. You know, it makes my life a bit easier, sort of trying to work out what you guys want to see. I've got a little tiny bundle there that's bugging me. So yeah, you know, do that. And if you can, make sure you give this video a little like. You know, I really appreciate a like. It really helps. Now, these videos can be seen by a couple of hundred people or a couple of 100,000. It really just goes by how many likes and comments it gets, just the way YouTube works, really. So if you can drop a like, it's really appreciated, but if not, people, just thanks for watching it. And I hope it's helped you guys. If you're both on social media, make sure you tag me. But for now, people, I'm the Broken Puppet, and I'll see you next time. Peace.